right, let's dive deep into the work of Neville Goddard.
Yeah, a fascinating figure.
Yeah, this guy, mid-20th century teacher, really shook things up in the world of spirituality. And we'll be looking at, specifically, excerpts from his book, Feeling is the Secret. And
Mhm.
as the title suggests, we're going to be looking at the idea that your feelings literally shape your reality.
And it's not just some feel-good affirmation. It's really like the core of Goddard's premise.
Right.
You know, he argued that the world we experience is a direct manifestation of our consciousness.
I have to admit, consciousness creates reality. It sounds kind of far out there, but I'm intrigued. So how does this actually work?
Well, Goddard used this really powerful analogy, and he saw consciousness as a stream.
Hmm.
But this stream was divided into two parts.
Okay.
You have the conscious mind, which he kind of referred to as the male aspect, and the subconscious mind, which he called the female aspect.
Okay, I'm liking this analogy already.
Yeah.
So the conscious mind is the part of us that's like actively thinking, making decisions, experiencing the world, right?
Exactly. It's outward facing. It's
Mhm.
engaging with the world. The subconscious is more of the deeper part,
Okay.
like the receptive part of our being, kind of the fertile ground where our thoughts and feelings take root and then they blossom into our reality.
So if I'm following correctly, it's not enough to just have an idea or a desire.
Right.
In our conscious minds, we obviously have to like impress it upon our subconscious mind for it to actually like have any power.
Right. That's it. That's the core teaching.
Okay.
And he argued that the subconscious mind, it's the creative force, but it doesn't understand language the way our conscious mind does.
Hmm.
It only understands one language, and that's feeling.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me it's not enough to just think positive thoughts. I have to actually feel positive
You got it.
in order to create positive change.
That's exactly what he would say.
Whoa.
And this is where it gets really interesting because he wasn't just talking about attracting material things or success.
Mm-hmm.
He believed this principle applied to every aspect of our lives, from our health and relationships to just our overall well-being.
So if I'm constantly worrying about something, am I actually making it more likely to happen? Because let's be honest, I worry a lot.
Well, think about it. When you worry, you're essentially living in the feeling of what you don't want.
Right.
And according to Goddard, dwelling on those negative feelings only impresses them more deeply on your subconscious mind,
Okay.
making them more likely to manifest.
That's both fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
It is.
It makes you realize how much power we have over our own lives.
Yeah.
But also how easily we can sabotage ourselves.
Exactly.
So are there like practical things that we can do to shift our feelings to be more in alignment with what we want?
That's a great question. And, as we go through this, we'll explore that more deeply. But one of the things he emphasized was sleep and prayer
Okay.
as gateways to the subconscious mind.
Now that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So remember that analogy of the stream? He believed that when we fall asleep, our conscious mind, the male aspect, merges back into the subconscious, like a stream flowing back to its source.
So my 8 hours of blissful slumber is actually like prime time for influencing my reality.
Exactly.
Whoa.
He argued that the feeling you fall asleep with, it's so incredibly powerful because it sets the tone for what happens in the subconscious mind throughout the night.
So if I drift off to sleep and I'm feeling anxious and stressed,
Yeah.
I'm basically like programming my subconscious to create more of that in my life.
That's the idea.
Conversely, if I fall asleep and I'm feeling, like I've already achieved my goals,
Right.
then I'm giving my subconscious like this blueprint to work with.
Exactly. So it's about suspending disbelief
Okay.
in those moments before you fall asleep and immersing yourself in the feeling of having what you want.
Okay, so I should be like drifting off to dreamland,
Yeah.
feeling like I've already achieved my goals.
That's it.
Even if my waking life is like, less than perfect.
Yeah.
I can see how that could be really challenging.
It is.
But I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
What about prayer? Where does that fit into all this?
So for Goddard, prayer wasn't about begging some deity for favors. It was about getting yourself into that same receptive state you access in sleep.
Okay.
So the state of feeling as though your wish is already fulfilled.
So it's not about asking, it's about believing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating that feeling of already having what you desire,
Okay.
knowing it's already yours. In fact, he even gave very specific instructions.
Okay.
Lie flat on your back, feel as though you were in possession of your wish, and quietly relax into unconsciousness.
It's almost like self-hypnosis,
It is.
like training your mind to believe in the reality that you want to create.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff. But I have a question.
Yeah.
Doesn't this concept of feeling Is the secret put a lot of responsibility on the individual?
Hmm.
Like, what if someone is struggling with an illness or facing difficult circumstances? Are you saying they're somehow responsible for creating that situation?
That's an important question, and it's something we need to approach with a lot of sensitivity.
Okay.
Godard's work isn't about blaming people for their circumstances.
Right.
It's about empowering them to understand the role their own consciousness plays in shaping their reality.
So it's not about like denying the reality of challenges. It's
Wow.
about understanding how our inner state can influence those external circumstances.
That's it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. So just to kind of like summarize here,
Yeah,
we've learned that according to Goddard, our consciousness literally creates our reality.
that's right.
It's not a metaphor, it's a fundamental principle.
Yep.
And the key is through the language of feeling.
You feel?
That's how we shape our consciousness.
Exactly.
And we've also kind of touched upon the idea that sleep and prayer, as Goddard saw them,
Yes.
are powerful tools for accessing the subconscious mind.
Powerful tools.
Okay.
Very much so.
This is already giving you a lot to think about,
Mhm.
and I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear more about how to actually apply these concepts in their own lives. So stay tuned as we continue our deep dive into Neville Goddard's Feeling is the Secret.
It's going to be good.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Neville Goddard's Feeling is the Secret. I'm still grappling with this idea that my feelings are so central to shaping my reality. It's empowering, but also kind of daunting.
Yeah, it really is a profound shift in perspective, isn't it?
Hmm.
We're so used to thinking of ourselves as reacting to the world,
Right.
but Goddard completely flips the script. He's saying we're not just passive observers, we're active creators.
So it's not about ignoring what's happening around us, but understanding that our inner state is constantly influencing those circumstances.
Exactly. Goddard used to say the world is a mirror reflecting back to us the sum total of our beliefs and feelings. So if you're experiencing a lot of conflict in your life, for example, it might be worth examining what beliefs or feelings you're holding on to that could be contributing to that.
Okay, but how does that actually play out in real life? Can you give me like a more concrete example?
Sure, think about something like a job interview.
Okay.
If you walk into that interview feeling anxious and insecure, doubting your abilities,
Yeah.
those feelings are going to impact your behavior, your body language, even the way you answer questions. You're essentially broadcasting this message. I'm not confident. I'm not the right person for this job. And guess what? The interviewer is going to pick up on that,
Right.
mirroring back those same feelings of doubt and uncertainty.
On the other hand, if you can walk into that interview feeling confident and self-assured, even if you have to fake it a little, at first, you're projecting a completely different energy.
Totally.
One that says like, I'm capable, I'm qualified, I'm the perfect fit for this role.
Exactly. And that shift in your inner state, even if it's subtle, can completely change the dynamic. The interviewer is more likely to see you in a positive light, and you're more likely to perform well.
So it's almost like you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
But instead of it being based on fear or doubt, it's based on belief and a feeling of, I've got this.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And this principle applies not just to job interviews, but to every interaction and situation in your life.
So it's not about denying those negative emotions or pretending like everything is perfect.
Right.
It's about understanding that your dominant feeling state, the one you cultivate and nurture, is going to have a direct impact on your external reality.
Precisely. It's about becoming a conscious gardener of your inner world, recognizing that the seeds you plant, those thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, are going to determine the harvest you reap.
I love that analogy. It makes it feel more manageable somehow. Like, okay, if I catch myself spiraling into worry or doubt,
Yeah.
I can choose to shift my focus to plant a different kind of seed.
Exactly. And that's where those practices we talked about earlier, sleep and prayer, can be so powerful. They're tools for accessing that subconscious mind, the fertile ground where those seeds take root.
Right, so just to recap, if I can drift off to sleep, feeling the state of my wish fulfilled, I'm essentially giving my subconscious mind a powerful blueprint to work with overnight.
That's right. It's like giving your subconscious mind a clear set of instructions, a vision to guide its creative process while you sleep.
And prayer, as Goddard understood it, is about cultivating that same feeling state of belief and knowing even when external circumstances might suggest otherwise.
Exactly. It's about aligning yourself with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, regardless of what your senses are telling you in the present moment.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to admit, this whole concept still feels a bit mind-bending.
Hmm.
I mean, are you saying that even things that seem completely outside of my control, like getting sick or experiencing a financial setback, are somehow a reflection of my own thoughts and feelings.
Now, this is where things can get a little tricky, and it's important to approach this with nuance. Goddard wasn't suggesting that we're to blame for every bad thing that happens to us.
Right. That would be pretty harsh.
Exactly. But what he was suggesting is that even in those challenging situations, our inner state plays a role. It's not about denying the reality of hardship. It's about understanding how our thoughts and feelings can influence how we experience those hardships, how we cope with them, and ultimately how we move through them.
So if I'm dealing with a health challenge, for example, instead of giving in to fear and despair,
Yeah.
I might focus on cultivating feelings of hope, resilience, and even gratitude for the simple things in life.
That's a great example. It's not about pretending the illness isn't there. It's about choosing to focus on those feelings that can support your healing process, both physically and emotionally.
And that's empowering because it means that even in the midst of difficult circumstances, you have a choice. You have the power to shift your inner state, and in doing so, you might just change the way the whole situation unfolds.
Precisely. It's about becoming a conscious participant in your own life rather than a passive victim of circumstance.
This is truly revolutionary stuff.
Yeah.
It completely changes the way you look at everything. But I have another question.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile this idea of personal responsibility with the fact that there are real injustices in the world, things that are undeniably caused by external factors, like systemic oppression or natural disasters?
That's a very valid point. And it's important to acknowledge that not everything in life is a direct result of our individual thoughts and feelings.
Mhm.
There are forces at play that are much larger than any one of us, and there are situations where people are truly victims of circumstances beyond their control.
So how do we hold both of those truths at the same time? The idea that we have a responsibility to cultivate a positive inner state A&D, the recognition that sometimes bad things happen to good people, and it's not their fault.
That's a question that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries. But from a Goddard perspective, I think it comes down to recognizing that even in the face of those external challenges, we still have a choice in how we respond, how we process those experiences, and how we allow them to shape us.
So it's about finding that inner strength, that resilience that allows you to move through those difficult experiences without becoming completely defined by them.
Exactly. And even in those situations where it feels like life has dealt you a truly unfair hand, focusing on cultivating feelings of hope, forgiveness, and even gratitude can be incredibly powerful tools for healing and moving forward.
It's not about denying the reality of the situation. It's about finding a way to access your inner strength and tap into those feelings that can support you on your journey.
And that's something we all have the capacity to do regardless of our circumstances. It's about recognizing that the power to shape our reality lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering our own inner state.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've delved into the practical implications of Goddard's teachings, exploring how our dominant feeling state influences our experiences, and how we can consciously cultivate those feelings that support our well-being, even in the face of adversity.
We've also touched upon that complex interplay between personal responsibility and those external circumstances, recognizing that while we may not be able to control everything that happens to us, we always have a choice in how we respond and what meaning we choose to create from those experiences.
And when we come back for the final part of our deep dive into Feeling is the Secret, we'll explore some specific techniques you can use to start putting Goddard's principles into practice in your own life. Welcome back to our deep dive into Neville Goddard's Feeling is the Secret. Exploring this concept has been like opening a door to a whole new way of understanding the world and my place in it.
Yeah, it really is a radical shift,
Yeah.
going from, feeling at the mercy of circumstances to you creating your reality.
Exactly. But as empowering as that is,
Yeah.
it's a little overwhelming too. Where do you even begin to put this into practice?
Well, the good news is Goddard gave us some very specific techniques
Okay.
for working with your consciousness and creating the life you desire.
Hmm.
And they're not like complicated rituals or esoteric practices. Okay.
They're actually quite simple,
Okay, I like simple.
but that doesn't make them any less powerful.
Okay, so give me something I can start using like today.
Okay, let's go back to the sleep technique we talked
Okay.
about. This is really fundamental to Goddard, and for good reason.
Yeah.
He saw sleep as this natural gateway to the subconscious mind,
Hmm.
the time when the conscious mind takes a back seat
Right.
and the subconscious is free to work its magic.
So if I can fall asleep feeling like my wish is fulfilled,
Yeah.
it's like I'm planting a seed in my subconscious,
That's accurate.
allowing it to grow while I sleep.
And you can use this for anything.
Hmm.
A new job, a relationship, better health, or just peace.
Okay, but how do you actually do it? Do you just lie in bed and think about what you want?
It's more than thinking, it's feeling it.
Okay.
Goddard's instructions are very specific.
Okay.
Lie flat on your back, close your eyes, and imagine yourself as though your wish is already fulfilled.
So if I want to find a job I love,
I should imagine myself already working at the job, feeling that satisfaction.
it's act of fulfillment.
And don't just think about it. Really immerse yourself.
Okay.
What would it feel like to wake up excited to go to work?
Mm.
What would you be doing? Who would you be interacting with? What kind of impact would you be making?
Really like engage all the senses.
Yes.
Make it real.
As real as possible.
Okay.
And just notice the feelings.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to feel that joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having this wish fulfilled, and then just drift off to sleep, holding on to those feelings.
It's like you're programming your dreams, right?
You can think of it like that.
Giving your subconscious a blueprint.
Exactly.
Right.
And you may not always remember your dreams,
Right.
but trust that your subconscious is working.
So cool. Even when I'm sleeping, my mind is still working.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And the more you practice this, the easier it'll become to fall asleep feeling this way.
Mm.
And you'll likely start noticing things happening in your life that guide you toward what you want. Okay, I'm definitely trying this tonight. What other techniques did Goddard recommend?
Another one, very powerful, is revision.
Revision.
This is about consciously changing the past.
Wait, you're saying we can change the past? That sounds like science fiction.
Well, not in the sense of changing external events, but we have the power to change how we remember those events. And in doing so, we change how they impact our present and future.
So how does that actually work?
Let's say you had a rough day at work.
Okay.
You made a mistake, your boss yelled at you, came home feeling defeated.
Yeah, I've had days like that.
You could replay that whole experience in your mind over and over,
Right.
dwelling on all the negatives, but all you're doing is reinforcing those feelings.
Right, you're just strengthening those neural pathways in your brain.
Exactly. With revision, you can choose to rewrite the experience.
Mm.
Go back to when you made the mistake. Imagine handling it differently, maybe with more confidence and grace. Imagine your boss responding with support.
And as you're revising it, you're also changing how you feel about it.
Exactly.
Instead of feeling defeated, you're cultivating confidence and resilience.
Precisely. And you're not erasing the event, you're changing how you feel about it and how it impacts you going forward.
It's like you're taking back your power from that experience.
Exactly. You can use this for any experience.
Wow.
A small incident or a major trauma.
So sleep technique is planting those seeds.
Yes.
And revision is like clearing out the weeds from the past.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And those are just two of the many techniques he taught, but a great place to start.
This has been eye-opening. It's really challenged how I think about reality.
It's about recognizing the power of your consciousness, right?
Yeah.
And using it to create a life that you desire.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Feeling is the Secret, we leave you with this question. If your current reality reflects your past feelings, what feelings will you cultivate to shape your future? The choice, as always, is yours.